I think a great starter question would be for the audience to know a little bit more about your brand and everything you're all about.
Sure. So again, my name is Mike Robinson. I'm the owner and founder of Bingo-Bango Fresh Fruit Soda Company. We're based in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and we're the first Black-owned and operated craft soda company in the United States. We specialize in all-natural fresh fruit sodas, so we use fresh fruit juice, water, and only pure cane sugar to produce our product. And yeah, we created flavors such as strawberry lemonade, lemon peach pomegranate, pineapple apple, blueberry mango, passion fruit strawberry, blackberry kiwi, blackberry black cherry, raspberry ginger ale. We get creative as creative as you can possibly get with our sodas. So you can find them in a lot of the breweries throughout the state, restaurants, as well as Total Wine in Winston-Salem and in Greensboro. My grandfather, Emil Worthy, that's where I drew the name, the brand name Bingo-Bango from. He was from New Orleans, and both sides of my family are from New Orleans. And he would say Bingo-Bango to describe something that was unique or exciting or amazing. And growing up in the 7th Ward around jazz and food culture and all that great African-American culture in Louisiana in general, he would tell us stories, like I mentioned, and always cap it off with Bingo-Bango. Mm-hmm. So he was a big inspiration for the brand, for the colors, for the brand name, for everything around the product.
Just a fun question. So I'm from the Midwest, born and raised in Northwest Indiana, Gary, Indiana. And where I'm from, in that small little pocket of the world, we call the beverage that you manufacture pop. That is, we call it is. So to hear you say soda, as does the rest of the world, it feels like it's like all right. Do you have a preference? Have you always called it soda, or were you ever a pop guy?
I've always called it soda, but all respect due to the folks, in the Midwest. I call it. I have pop all over my page also, so I have both on there. I try to offer a good representation of both. And when I was in college, we played Indiana and we went up to Iowa as well. And I heard pop a lot. So I was like, what is but
Yeah. People tease me to this day about saying pop. I'm like, I can't just for the life of me just adopt soda like that. It's like, I know it. My brain wants to say it, but my body it's all muscle memory at this point. Pop it is. What inspired you to start the brand? You don't hear about that a lot, at least, I haven't. So I am curious to know, how did you want to forge a path into the soda industry?
My biggest inspiration, obviously, is my faith, and then it's my parents. Mike and Rosa Robinson own Crown Trophy, which is in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. So growing up under them, watching them be Black entrepreneurs, sleeping in the back of their trophy shop, watching them create such a great rapport with people in our community, and even be able to show up to my games because they could create their own schedules and pick me up from practice and things like that, is what inspired me to say, okay, I want to give that same lifestyle to my kids. I want to be able to have the flexibility and schedule to be able to be there for my family and friends also. So in addition to that, I started working with my brother, Chris, who owns Carolina's Vineyards and Hops out of college. Carolina's Vineyards and Hops is a North Carolina wine and craft beer lounge where I am now. And to better understand craft beer, I started homebrewing beer in my mom's backyard. So she couldn't stand the process just because of the propane burner and all the noise and all that good stuff. But, I loved it. But I was terrible at it because I didn't have the patience to make craft beer and understand that you got to master the basic styles first before you can really get into the experimental, creative kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And I end up converting that craft beer equipment to making craft soda, and let friends and family try it. Went to, my barbershop, let them try it. Went to flea markets, farmers markets, anywhere I can go. And I just kept plugging away at that until I was able to get some real feedback from a festival in Charlotte and some local retailers started to pick it up, and it started rolling from there. So I've always felt like I was pretty creative. I always wanted to try different things, and just primarily inspired by my family.
That's dope, man. Just listening to you talk about your journey and rather your inspiration, I find a lot of parallels in our path. You talked about it from just wanting to be an entrepreneur in general and drawing some inspiration from your older family members, all with the intent to have the luxury of time and be able to use it how you want by, investing in your kids and showing up and, just being present. Like that is immeasurable, right? Like, I don't think that you could really place a value on that. And that really resonates with me. I'm a new dad of an 18-month-old, and
congratulations, bro.
Appreciate it. And I'm just, grateful to be able to, watch her grow and develop, right? And not have my time being, not having to be pulled in directions that I don't really care to be pulled in. So that certainly resonates with me. Then you also talked about the experimentation of getting the recipe down and not being good at it. Man, I could tell you some stories, but one that really hits home is, or I think that you'll find enjoyable, is we got the fire department called on us because we were burning beans so badly in PJ's garage. Right. So the smoke had to go somewhere, and we didn't know the recipe. We hadn't dialed it in just yet. And, so we definitely had our trial and error in trying to figure out what that right formula is. So I appreciate you for taking a hands-on approach and really knowing the nuance before you start to branch out into the other creative aspects. What are some of the things that you had to go through, right? Because you obviously, you mentioned you're still looking to scale, right? You're still on that ground in the thick of things. So, what are some of the things that you had to go through early on that weren't necessarily apparent to you when you first started on this journey? Like, what was your aha moment on your entrepreneurial journey?
I went to UNC Pembroke, so I was educated in a business school. And a lot of the things they don't teach you is just the process of trying to build your brand or build your business and how much you have to invest into it. So, for example, when I would call, a company that I wanted to design my logo, and, this would be a prestigious company that was recommended to me from all these folks. And I would talk to them on the phone, and they would say, it's $3,000 for us to do a mock-up for you. Can you only change it twice? And it's just like, man, I can't afford that. So those challenges will come, and I would just kind of sit back and acknowledge those things as sometimes roadblocks that we have as entrepreneurs, where we can decide to turn back or we can just keep going. And for me, just persevering and sitting down and figuring out, okay, how can I design this myself? Like, if I got to learn how to make my website myself, it may not be the prettiest website right now, but hopefully I'll continue to get better at it and continue to get some cash flow to invest in a nicer website. Yeah. Same with a logo and same with everything else. So those were the challenges, just wanting something that was of quality, that looked of quality, that you have to invest in, but trying to budget accordingly.
Why do you think that it's important for Black-owned companies to enter into the food manufacturing arena, assuming that you think that that's a move that people should make? Why would somebody, what would you say to compel them to want to pursue a path in the food manufacturing arena?
I would lend from the leverage that our culture is able to create through hip hop. I mean, obviously it's one of the largest, genres in the country, in the world. And that just comes from our stories, our roots, our history, our culture. And I think if we apply those same things in the food manufacturing and beverage space, we could come out with some amazing products that have beautiful stories, in addition to a high quality, great tasting product. So I think, true entrepreneurs lend on their passions and things that they actually enjoy, that they translate into a small business. And I think we should bring those stories and that history up with our brand as well.
Yeah. Storytelling is key. That's what really resonates with consumers, with clients, is, feeling a bit of connectivity to to your story, to your journey, to your upbringing, whatever that story is. I think that storytelling should always be on the forefront of any business, because that authenticity is going to bleed through. I think you would agree. You're not looking for just transactional customers or clients. You're looking for lifelong relationships, so to speak. You think about the generations before us. Some people refuse to consider other brands, right? Like a Coke is a Coke. It's like I'm going to stick with Coke. That's my thing, because I've built some sense of loyalty with that brand. And I'm imagining that's what you and other new entrepreneurs are looking to do as well. And I think the best way to do that is through storytelling and getting people really bought into the why, bought into the process, right? Because manufacturing is all predicated on process, as well as obviously the finished product. So storytelling is very pivotal.
Absolutely. And I mean, folks will attach your product to their own personal stories as well. I would hear my grandmother speak about putting peanuts in Coca-Cola when she was younger, or, and I want folks to associate that with our brands also. I've had folks propose with Bingo-Bango Soda around. I've had young ladies or young men tell me, hey, my husband has moved to Winston-Salem because of this soda. And those are the type of things that are gratifying to me, just because when you put a product out there in the world, you don't get to see all that it does. So when people can come back to you and relay their stories, it makes it all the while. So.
Absolutely. I ever recall at the height of the pandemic, when things started to shut down back in March of 2020, and we were trying to figure out what did that mean for our business? How would we withstand the storm? Right? We all were thinking that this will blow over in a couple of months, and once we realized that it was going to be much longer than that, we wanted to find a way to again have some sense of connectivity with our consumers, because again, this is a family, so to speak. At least that's how we're approaching it. And we had introduced these care packages, if you will, and it was just a way for people to be alone together, right? I think that was the hashtag that was floating around, and some of the stories or some of the messages that our consumers were including on these notes were really moving. It was remarkable that over coffee they were able to build those bonds, and they were longing for that, and this was a way for them to connect with people despite not being able to kick it with them as they normally would. So to your point about how your product now is integrated in people's lives into their own respective stories, that's a joy that I didn't anticipate, but I'm grateful that it happens on behalf of our brand. What are some new things that you're working on with your brand? Anything that you can share? Any new innovation? Any new partnerships that you got coming down the pipe? Floor is yours.
Well, right now, we've launched a Kickstarter. We actually launched it last weekend. It goes until February 15th. And we're raising $30,000 to scale our equipment to meet our new demand. We're starting to tap into getting national demand now, where different retailers and folks from across the country want to try the product and get it delivered to their house. And just been a one-man show up until this point. So being able to scale would allow me to be able to hire help to help the company grow, production assistants, and then purchase the equipment we need to really get it out. So that's the main focus. And God willing, that doesn't go through, good or bad, we're still going to continue to grow, and hopefully by this summer we'll be able to start national shipping.
That's dope. So tell them any specific information, if there's a particular website, how can they find, if they want to support this Kickstarter effort, how can the people throw some dollars your way and help you achieve what you set out to achieve?
Yes, the easiest way to get to our Kickstarter to contribute would be either through our Instagram page. We have the link in the bio. Our Instagram is @Bingo-Bango Soda. Or you can go to Kickstarter's website and type in the search bar Bingo-Bango Soda. And picture of me will come up holding bottles, and you can click the link and contribute however much you like, and anything is appreciated.
Yeah, awesome. So we're trying to do a different type of bottle popping, right? Like that's what
right. We do mimosas too, man. That's one of the rewards. If folks donate a certain amount, they'll get a ticket to a catered brunch, and at that brunch we'll call them bingo-mosas. So folks could mix champagne with the soda. We actually had a couple restaurants in the area that offer cocktails and bingo-mosas on their menu too. So I'm all for popping bottles.
Popping bottles. I mean, hey, they hashtag popping bottles. That might work in some capacity. I'm all for a good double entendre like that. I mean, I'm a big hip hop fan. You made reference to it. I love, and we can find ways to incorporate the culture into what we do, and it just works.